Hello my Wolfpack and welcome to the TBL Season 6 Week 5 battle versus the Ammanford Coalossals. Now this is a post-recording because unfortunately when I went through the initial time my microphone wasn't on. So I recorded it and I was talking through the entirety of it, and then I got to like the last 5 minutes and I realised my mic wasn't on. Which was really frustrating because I was making some really good commentary at this point. Basically, there were a load of issues me trying to get set up, because obviously I have to both share it in a Discord call so it can be streamed and also record. And yeah, for some reason that wasn't working. I had to reset my computer, and when I reset my computer, for some reason my OBS decided that it did not want to work with my microphone apparently, and I didn't check this beforehand, so that's my fault for not checking. So we're going to do a post-recording of this. I'm going to talk about my my playthrough on here. If you haven't checked it out already, go check out my team builder. It will be carded. It probably will have already been the card gone potentially, but there'll be a card somewhere at the beginning of this video if you should go and check it out. And yeah, so going on here, just going to start the video. We should have some playback going. I actually have the game audio, which is better than week 1, but you know, we've got this going. So here is where I would have been doing my intro. I'm a little bit nervous at this point because me against Zeph is not the best matchup. So his team, if you look in the team builder, his team and my team, he definitely has the advantage just straight from team, and he's really difficult to prep for because it's got a lot of Pokemon that have kind of very specific weaknesses, and I had to have a lot of coverage on different Pokemon for it. And here we see he's brought the Mimikyu, the Cinderace, Gyarados, Durant, Swampert, and Tornadus. This is more or less what I was anticipating to come. Possibly, I was expecting the Swampert or the Gyarados. I wasn't expecting both of them, but definitely kind of along the lines of what I was expecting. At this point, I'm just thinking I need to go Rotom lead. Rotom's a really solid lead against this team. There's nothing that really wants to battle Rotom here, and then just go with the flow, essentially. There's nothing I really have to be too concerned over in this case. So, just straight off, lead of Rotom. My thought was probably get a Volt Switch, because at this point I do say he hasn't got a ground type. He hasn't got a ground type, so I can freely Volt Switch and go to whatever I want, or I can click an attacking move. So that was my thought process when it came to this. Obviously the only other lead I could potentially have was maybe Azelf, because Azelf can hit things pretty hard in general. But yeah, lead-wise, or right, see the start of the match, lead-wise, you'll see it is a very interesting lead. I do love his lead card. His lead card's fantastic. I think that is a really cool lead card. I redid mine because I redid my clothes on my one. But I like those shorts. I don't know where to get those shorts from. But yeah, he leads with the Swampert, annoyingly, because I was just like, yeah, there's no ground type. And we see the Swampert. But at this point, I'm thinking it can't do anything to me. I did consider the idea of switching out and going into something else, maybe like Spiritomb, possibly. But then I'm thinking like I can't do too much to it, but it can do stuff to me. Oh, sorry, it can't do much to me either. And I hit it with a High Trump just to see how much damage I can get off on this thing. Because Hydro Pump is obviously neutral. It is my strong stab move as well, so hopefully it should hit really hard. I'm predicting this thing probably wants to go for Stealth Rocks, probably a turn 1 Stealth Rocks. But I do go for the Hydro Pump. I do hit the Hydro Pump, which is really cool, and it does about 40% damage, which is pretty decent. He gets the Stealth Rocks out here, which you know, it's not the best thing in the world, but it's not the worst thing in the world either. He does get some leftovers recovery from this, so it does mean that the Hydro Pump is a free hit KO. I just go straight for another Hydro Pump here in the end. I was kind of considering whether he would switch into something else, but I thought, no, we'll go for another Hydro Pump. Excuse me. We'll go for a second Hydro Pump here, get some more damage on it, and then it will go down to a range where it can just quite easily be got rid of by the majority of the other members in my team. I don't think there's anything that it outspeeds in my team. Maybe Alcremie. But when I did the when I had a look after the match, because I was really interested, it was a fully defensive Swampert. Gets flip turn here. That does next to nothing to me. That shows me that it's a special, typically a special, probably a modest nature. Actually, no, I don't think it was modest. I think it was probably a bold nature. But I think it's definitely got special attacks. That flip turn allows us to switch out into another Mon here. And yeah, I was just thinking, what could he go into? Because there's nothing that really wants to come in against me. I was thinking that the Thunderous was probably the big one, and potentially he would want to set up. So that was my main thought here. Although the Thunderous, its Thunderbolt can do like 40-ish% to me, judging from my calcs. So it's something that I should be a little bit concerned about. And he does bring the Thunderous out. He does bring the Thunderous. It is a nice shiny Thunderous. And I'm just like, you know what, I'm switching. I need Rotom. Rotom is just too important here. And I had a misunderstanding of what Prankster does. I thought that what the Dark type of Prankster does, because I've never used it before. I've never utilised it in a match before. But I didn't realise that it was only moves that affect you. I thought it was any status move that's used against the Dark type. So I thought if it goes to the Nasty Plot here, then it will be nullified because of the Spiritomb. And that was just my misunderstanding from it, because I've never really used it before. He goes for a Dark Pulse here. That Dark Pulse doesn't do too much at this point. It doesn't do a huge amount. It doesn't do enough to kind of destroy me, and I'm thinking here, right, I need to set up a Calm Mind because he's probably going to try and set something up here potentially, or he's going to do just some damage to me. So I'm thinking Calm Mind is a good option here. I did consider going for Willow here, but I thought no, Calm Mind is probably my best option to go for, because I'm not expecting to be able to get a Nasty Plot up at this point because I'm just stupid. It was a misunderstanding from my part. He does go for the Nasty Plot here, and I'm really confused. I'm like, what? And I go for the Calm Mind. It does get me to a +1, so he's only got a +1 advantage on me. And I'm thinking, at this point, I'm at a relatively decent place with Spiritomb. I'm not too bad here. And then I'm thinking I could do one of two things. I know it's definitely faster than me, so I could possibly either go for a Pain Split or go for a Calm Mind. And I did really think about that for a few seconds, but then I thought the amount of damage that he would be able to do, I should be able to get another Calm Mind up. I should be able to heal up quite nicely. And he hits me really hard with Discharge because I didn't factor in the stab. I just didn't factor in the stab and the +2 and how much damage it would do. I didn't have time to run calcs because I just reset my computer. So yeah, I got really greedy there going for a +2 with Calm Mind. At this point I'm like, Spiritomb's going down and I have no idea what I'm going to do. So I Calm Mind it up. Sorry, I went for Pain Split just in case he went for like a second Nasty Plot, trying to get some health up, but then he goes for the Dark Pulse, possibly anticipating me to switch into like Rotom Wash or something to maybe conserve Spiritomb, but at this point Spiritomb's just going down. I consider Dragonite or Azelf, and then I'm thinking about it like, Dragonite I'm not guaranteed the one-hit KO with a Dragon Dance, and I think I need to kind of consider what I'm doing. We need to know if it has Focus Blast as fourth move, obviously some free moves. But I think Azelf is my safest play here. It will go down. It will go down because of that Dark Pulse. But just looking at it, it's probably the safest play for me to go for. Yeah, I'm just trying to consider what is the best mon for me to go for in this scenario, because it is quite difficult to decide like what mon I kind of essentially need to sack off at this point. And yeah, +1 Dragon Claw with Dragonite doesn't guarantee a kill, so I go straight into Azelf. I go for the Sidekick. It can do like 70% damage without any investment, so that's kind of my thought process here. Let Azelf go down because it's not, like, whilst it can do some things for me, it's not going to do the most for me. That misplay with I can't remember what it's called. Misplay with Spiritomb really kind of messed me up there. If I'd have gone for that Pain Split, Azelf obviously would have come in, and I would have been able to take that out, and Azelf would still be around. At this point, it goes Dragonite. I know I can live an attack from it. I don't think it gets any like super effective coverage on me. It can go for Discharge, but it doesn't take me out at +2. I go for a Dragon Dance. I know I then definitely outspeed it because I know this thing isn't scarfed. So Dragon Dance, get to a +1. I know I definitely can take this out. The Mimikyu can then come in, but I knew that kind of I definitely had to go for the Dragon Dance here and consider that as a potential option. Obviously, I'm not holding any items that are going to have any huge negative effects, but I go for the Fire Punch here. I do go for the Fire Punch here. I'm like, ooh, what do I go for? I go for the Fire Punch here just in case he switches into the Mimikyu. If he did switch into the Mimikyu, I would have actually really appreciated that because at that point I more or less swept his team with Dragonite. But the Fire Punch, he does keep it in, so I do take out this Thunderous. I think potentially that could have been a slight misplay on his part. because if he'd have saved that, that would have definitely made a lot of difference to the later game compared to how it actually went. Goes into the Mimikyu here, and I'm thinking, what do I go into? I go into because I don't have anything to kind of deal with this easily. Part of me is thinking Excadrill, part of me is thinking Alcremie, part of me is thinking, as soon as I click on Alcremie, part of me is thinking I should have just gone for Fire Punch. Because I felt he was going to set up. I was feeling that he was going to set up. I should have just gone for Fire Punch was my thought process here. Get that Disguise gone. He's not got the ability to outspeed me, unless he used Shadow Sneak, which I think a +2 Shadow Sneak I don't think would take me out, because it's not that powerful. I do go into Alcremie, that is my choice here. It's the safest play, because Dragonite could definitely be handy late game just to come in and just tidy up a little bit. And then he decides to go for the Swords Dance, so I'm kicking myself thinking, like, just after I've clicked this Alcremie, I'm just like, he's probably going to go for a Swords Dance, because that's what Mimikyu does. That is what Mimikyu does, and at that point he has the Disguise as well, so it's not the worst thing in the world. I go for Giga Drain here just to break the Disguise. I think that's my play, really. So he's at +2, Giga Drain breaks the Disguise, and he goes for a second Swords Dance. So he's now at +4. This is a very, very scary situation that I'm now in. At this point, I'm kind of thinking, I've lost. There's not really much that I can do to deal with this thing. I think a +4 Play Rough takes out the majority of my team, and if he has like Shadow Claw or something, then that will just take out my Excadrill. Excadrill could probably live the +4. I go for Dazzling Gleam here, just as my strongest move, and I can just hit it as hard as I can. He goes for Play Rough. I don't think that was a roll or anything, judging by how quick that health bar went down, but I do lose the Alcremie there. I immediately go straight Excadrill. I'm just thinking Excadrill is the choice here. I can fake out the Choice Scarf. It doesn't live anything I tried to use against it. So fake out the Choice Scarf with the Excadrill. See if it forces him to switch in. I've got the Mold Breaker here, not that it really matters. And I just go straight for an Earthquake here. I thought I'm not going to bother trying to set up on this thing. I need to fake the fact that I've got a Scarf and see if he switches into something else. And he goes to the Play Rough. I'm assuming he just didn't have coverage here. It takes a lot of damage on me, but it doesn't take me out. So a +4 Mimikyu. It did not take me out. I Earthquake and take out the Mimikyu, which is really helpful at this point. But then I'm still a bit like, I haven't really got the resources left to deal with everything on his team. I've got Excadrill here, and I'm just a bit like, oh god, this isn't good. This isn't good, because Excadrill is super low at its health. It's kind of guaranteed to go down the next turn because of the Life Orb damage. But yeah, that's what my thought is here. And then he decides to go into the Durant here, and the Durant is not too much of a concern anymore. Obviously, I've got things like Rotom Wash. I've got the I've got Drill, doesn't outspeed it, and I just get to see what it's doing. At this point, I'm considering whether I conserve Drill, but I don't. And realistically, I went for Rock Slide. I should have just gone for Earthquake. Earthquake would have been more powerful. It's stab and it's neutral. I don't know why I bothered going for Rock Slide there. At this point, I'm deciding, do I go Dragonite or do I go Rotom? And I did decide Rotom. I thought Rotom is the best thing to live a hit from this, and it cannot survive a Thunderbolt. So into the Rotom, take a little bit of damage from the Stealth Rocks. At this point, I was thinking Pain Split to get the health back, potentially that I was going to take from damage-wise. So I do go for it here. And I'm not expecting the Durant to ever be a setup Durant, but he goes for Hone Claws, which I'm just like, oh god, this is not good. This is not good because he's now got a +1 Durant. If I'd have just straight gone for the Thunderbolt here, like I was choosing between them. If I'd have done that, it would have been so much better. I was considering Volt Switch here to go into Dragonite and potentially do some other stuff, but then I went for Thunderbolt. I'm pretty sure from my calculations, the Thunderbolt does kill 100% of the time. He goes for Aerial Ace, which was a really, really interesting choice. I don't know what he had for coverage. Obviously, first impression, Hone Claws, Aerial Ace, and then maybe a Steel type attack, but you would have thought he'd have gone for the Steel type attack over it, because that would have done more damage. So it was an interesting choice on there, because he could have gone for like Superpower. Superpower would have taken the majority of my health. We then have the Gyarados come in. The Gyarados is obviously scary because of the Power Whip, and the only reason I was running Power Whip, or running the Rindo Berry, was because of this Power Whip. I just sit here, I'm just like, I'm going to go for Thunderbolt. If this isn't speed investment, I outspeed anyways, but if it has got speed investment to outspeed a non-speed invested Rotom, then he does outspeed me. Goes for the Power Whip. My Rindo Berry activates. This is an amazing tech, and I want to thank Gold for this, Goldo Dragon, because he mentioned it in the power rankings. He mentioned that Gyarados gets Power Whip, and that's the whole reason why I decided to run this on Rotom Wash. Go for the Thunderbolt, and it takes out the Gyarados there. That was 100% guaranteed to take it out in that scenario. And then we've got he's got 2 Mons left now. I think he's got the Cinderace, and then he's got the Swampert. And the Cinderace, it comes in, and this thing, it's I go for Pain Split because I'm like, if I live a hit, it allows me to get it down to about 50%. If I don't live a hit, I can go into Dragonite. He goes to Zen Headbutt here, which was quite interesting. I do live. It was about I think like a 68% chance that I lived. So I got really lucky there that I survived. It is Leftovers on here, which I found really interesting as a choice. But then I'm here, I'm like, I've got 79 health now. I can just quite happily click on the Hydro Pump, and this Hydro Pump will be able to take out, assuming that it hits. If not, I can still use some Pain Split shenanigans to try and get back. He goes for the Zen Headbutt there, which obviously it misses, which is a bit, I'm feeling a bit like, oh god, so that's a bit annoying. Obviously, missing, it did have the chance to flinch me as well, so that was a bit unlucky in his case. And obviously my Hydro Pump then hits, which is lower accuracy. And he finally gets back into the Swampert. At this point, one Hydro Pump just takes it out. And I'm just here like, yep, go click Hydro Pump, and that should win me the game. I would have definitely lived a Zen Headbutt, but the flinch would have made a big difference. I go for the Hydro Pump here, and it misses. And he goes for the Scald, and I'm pretty sure he gets a burn on the first turn as well. Oh no, he doesn't. I don't know if he even gets a burn. I can't actually remember, because this is like a week ago I did this match. He gets some leftovers recovery, and I'm like, oh god, if this Hydro Pump doesn't hit, I'm potentially going to have to hit this twice with Hydro Pump. And lo and behold, I missed 2 Hydro Pumps in a row. So the hacks there is kind of played out quite equally at this point. He has got more recovery coming up, and I'm just like, oh god, this is really risky, and I've only got like 3 Hydro Pumps left, so I'm there just like, this needs to hit or I'm gonna be in trouble. And it does hit, and I'm just there like, this, if I get a low roll, this might not take it out, but it does hit, and it does take it out. So yeah, that was basically how this match went. At the end there, I was a bit like, I should not have won. When I came into the call, I was just like, I did not deserve this win. It's just gone black screen. Oh, nice. Okay, I'm going to pause it here. I'm just going to pause it there. Yeah, so at this point, I went into the stream, and I was just like, I shouldn't have won that. I didn't deserve to win that one. There was a couple of hacks there, really in my favour, and it really wasn't fair to him. But after doing some calcs and stuff, after thinking through it, and actually I did have that one regardless. Even if he took me out with the Cinderace, I went into Dragonite. Dragonite, unless he got a flinch with Zen Headbutt, my Earthquake 100% took it out, unless it was a really weird investment. And the Zen Headbutt didn't do enough to me. And then the Swampert I took out in one hit with Dragon Claw anyways. In fact, I could have quite freely gone for a Dragon Dance, got to +1, outsped the Cinderace, gone for the Earthquake, 100% guarantee kill. Even if it wasn't Shaka, because obviously it had leftovers, and then completely destroyed the Swampert. So I went in being like, I didn't deserve to win that, but in actuality, I had it won in like 4 different other scenarios, so I'm not feeling as guilty about that one, because I honestly thought that I did not deserve that win at that time. I thought that there was definitely a roll on the Rotom Wash, and it was a roll on the Rotom Wash, but Dragonite was healthy enough to be able to deal with the remaining 2 Pokemon. So that was a really well played match. I was really on my back heels. I don't even know what that's saying. But I was really on my back. Like, oh my goodness. Throughout the second part of that match, if that Mimikyu had Shadow Claw instead of Play Rough, then I would have just straight up lost. Like there was no way that I was winning that. I didn't have anything to outspeed the Mimikyu at that point. My speed tiers this week were just garbage. My team, I didn't prep enough for the Mimikyu. Mimikyu for some reason just didn't concern me, but then it could have been my massive downfall. So yeah, that was one thing. But other than that, I think like Zeph played really, really well. I think part of it was down to that luck with Zen Headbutt potentially. But I think obviously the Rindo Berry, huge help in that case. If I hadn't have had the Rindo Berry again, I think I would have lost. But yeah, I think that was a really solid play. He set up so many times. He set up 3 times. And it's really scary when your opponent starts to set up, especially like a +4 Mimikyu. That was just scary. I don't know what other moves he had on Mimikyu. I'm assuming he has Shadow Sneak, and I don't think a Shadow Sneak would have killed Exeggutor. I didn't calculate or anything, but I did have... I either had HP or Defense Investment. I know I had like 52 EVs in either HP or Defense, so I was a little bit bulkier than I would have been before. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what that was. If if it was a misclick or something, I really don't know. But that's it. Now, 3 wins, 2 losses. Obviously, the 2 losses were against the 2 top-tiered teams at the minute, the top of each division. So I'm not feeling too bad. The power rankings have come out for the week 5, and I'm up to 4th, which is absolutely crazy. And I've still got to battle one of the players who is above me, and we'll see how that works. I think I'm battling them in a few weeks' time. I think it's like week 7 potentially. I battle them, which is obviously pretty scary because they've got a really solid team. But I am back in it now. I'm feeling pretty positive about my battling. I'm due a loss. I am definitely due a loss. So I guess we will see what happens. But yeah, free win streak now, which I'm really happy about and really excited. I will say that there's not going to be a battle next week. There is not a battle next week because I have it's a bye week this week. So I've not got a battle coming this week, so I can't upload anything next week. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Possibly we'll see competitive guys, possibly you'll see some Wi-Fi battles. I haven't really decided. It depends on how much time I have because I am quite busy now. I'm back at work, so it is quite crazy. And if you're here, go down and comment. Good job, just good job in capitals. If you watch this right to the end, you know, like that would make my day just to show people have watched the entirety of this video, and that made me really happy. But yeah. Other than that, I'm going to stop talking and blabbing. I'm going to let you go, so I hope you've had a good one. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm out of here, so have a good one, and I will see you soon.